Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business Talk with Ivan. Today I am joined by Melanie Parker, all the way from County Armagh in Ireland. Hello Melanie, how are you?
Hello Ivan, how are you?
Really well, really well. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Thank you so much for having me on.
No, I'm loving the accent already, actually. I can listen to the Irish accent all day, actually.
Oh, don't. Stop.
It's great. He's good. So, no, thank you for joining, seriously, because, I do this series of interviews because I'm really keen to find out about my fellow digital business owners, and you are one of them, and you've been doing this business for a while now, and I'm just really keen to hear your story, really, and that's what it's about. So let's get into it. My first question is, what were you doing before you started this digital business?
Okay, well, I had been in the Northern Ireland Civil Service. I was working there from 2004, so quite long term. I've had a few different roles, within that time, and I've had a few promotions.
Yeah.
And, I enjoyed it. I can't say I didn't enjoy it. They were all fairly good, decent roles, but nothing, I suppose. I never really felt, totally, fulfilled, like I was doing what I was meant to do. It paid the bills. Initially, when I started, I was married with no children, and we lived close to work. So, it was kind of great. There was great social life aspect.
I can imagine.
I just really enjoyed it. And as I said, I got a few promotions, everything was fine. And then 2008, we had our first son. And then in 2010, we actually moved out of Belfast. And I also worked in Belfast. So we moved about an hour down the road, to suburbia, you would call it. And that kind of started to make a difference. We had a small child and there was a commute then involved, so the days started to get longer.
Right.
And then, in 2014, we had our second boy. And it was kind of from then on, I started to struggle a bit. We had the two young boys. My husband then took a job which involved shift work. And that was good in that it meant we didn't have to pay for childcare, so we were cutting our costs down. But it also meant he worked evenings and I worked daytime. So I had to get up early, like really early. I was getting the bus usually at 6:50 a.m. to get to work.
Right.
And I was coming home about 5:30, 5:45.
Okay.
And he was going to work just after 6 p.m. and coming home at 1:30 a.m.
So you would never see each other, were you?
We never saw each other. And actually, sometimes that was quite nice. I can't lie.
I'll say that, to be fair. I didn't want to say that, but, I'll let you say it. It's fine.
But, we just didn't have that quality time together. And you just felt like the weeks were flying by. And, it was either one of us with the kids or the other one was with the kids.
Yeah.
And then the last couple of years, I've had a few health issues. And it just seemed to just be one thing after another, to be truthful.
Right.
And then that started to impact on me mentally and emotionally, because the physical issues, had that emotional impact. And I just was finding, honestly, just day-to-day life harder and harder and harder to sustain. Okay. And that routine was just getting too difficult. So it kind of all came to a head, and in summer of 2018, I ended up off work on an extended period of sick leave. So really that sort of led me up then to the following year, just last year, discovering this business.
Wow. So I'm guessing then you hadn't been looking for one, as in a digital business, did it kind of creep up on you by surprise?
It sort of did. Initially I hadn't been looking for one. Whenever I went off in the summer of 2018, I genuinely thought, a few weeks, maybe a month or two, and that'll sort me out and I'll be back to normal. But it just didn't work out that way. I found that the longer that I was at home, the more I was realizing that I actually had quite a lot of not just physical healing, but emotional healing to do.
Yeah.
And being at home was giving me that time to do that.
Right.
And, you know, I don't make any sort of, I don't hide the fact now that I've had a history through the years of anxiety and some issues like that. And being at home was actually starting to uncover all that. But that was a good thing, because I knew I needed to go through this process. And, you know, I'm the wrong side of 40 now. It was time to start looking after myself.
Yeah.
And, you know, being the best person I could be for my family. So initially, no, I wasn't looking for anything. I thought, no, I'm going to go back to work. But as time went on, I started to think, is that the right thing for me to do?
Okay.
So I would say about a month or so before I was planning on going back, the dread started to kick in. And I thought, you know, I can go back to this routine. And I feel fairly okay now, but I just knew a year or two down the line, the cycle would probably start again, and I would probably end up in the same position. So it was at that point I started to kind of just randomly Google, you know, work from home, work online, and, you know, all sorts of weird and wonderful things were popping up. You know, things that I thought, oh no, that doesn't look good, that looks a bit dull, just all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But after about a month or so, obviously once you start to Google things, I think Facebook and Google, they can read your mind like magic, and things started to appear.
Heard that before. Facebook definitely picks up on things.
They know what's going on up here. And this thing started to appear on my newsfeed, and I'd say this business was probably about the third or fourth one that I came across. Okay. And I sort of very quickly realized that it was different to the other ones.
Okay.
So to answer your question, no, I hadn't been looking, but for about a month then I had.
Right. Okay. So, and I'm guessing your reason for wanting to do something different is around that A, time at home, or more time with the family, and B, just from a health perspective and a well-being perspective for you. Is that fair? Is that fair to say? Is it? Yeah. Yeah,
it was very much both. I mean, a lot of people talk about, you know, their why as being family time, and obviously, yes, that was a big thing for me. But initially, it was more my health, and it was more for my own personal reasons that I realized I needed this time. There are other people who thrive on a 60 or 70 hour work week and, you know, love that. But for me, that just was not going to cut it for me, you know. So initially, yes, it was health reasons. But then I started to realize as I was at home that I was also benefiting from time with, you know, with the boys.
Just having that more fulfilled life, isn't it?
Yeah, and having to spend time, being able to spend time with the family and being able to pick them up from school and, you know, be there for them. So yeah, a combination of both, really, you know.
Yeah. And what stood? So you mentioned that you sent 3 or 4 online opportunities, and this one you felt was the best one. What stood out to you about this one then? Why this one? What made this one different?
I think initially it just seemed more genuine.
Okay.
The ad that I clicked on, it was a couple, just a normal couple, like, you know, myself and my husband, and they were just sitting down in their garden, I think, just talking about the business. And I thought, well, these just seem normal. They seem ordinary. They're not all glammed up. You know, they're not pretending to be big fancy celebrities. They're just normal people who wanted something similar to what I wanted. So initially, you know, that was my first impression, was that it seemed very real and very genuine.
Yeah. And that's been borne out, hasn't it? You know, I mean, because I was probably in the same boat, you know, because I saw, like you, I saw the ad on, well, we all saw the ad on Facebook, didn't we? People, you know, so you watched the workshop, you know, and did you jump in straight away, did you, or did you take some time to think about it, or?
I more or less jumped in. I watched it on the Thursday, and then I watched another one, like, because you can see replays of previous ones. I watched another one on the Friday, and I joined on the Saturday.
Yeah.
So within 48 hours, pretty much. I just was, you know, really, you know, interested by what I saw.
Yeah.
And I thought, the workshops especially, you see 4 or 5, maybe 6 people who are in the business, and that sort of, encouraged me further, because I thought these are real people. You could tell they were sitting in their homes giving their testimonials about how the business has worked for them. And as I watched, as I say, another replay, and it was more of the same. And I just something just told me, no, just go for it. You really have nothing to lose. And, I think you'll maybe always regret it if you don't at least check out what it's about.
No, I get it. And do you know what? I feel the same way. It's at no point, I joined the business and, and I've just plowed straight ahead. And at no point have I ever doubted it was going to work. I've never kind of doubted the decision that I made. I've never thought, oh God, have I made the right? Never, even once thought that. And, there's been a million one other things where I have, but not about this business, and that, I put that down simply. It was meant to be. Someone was up there, has brought me, it guided me to this business, right? And is there, and it's a right thing. And they know it's the right thing. I know it's the right thing. And it's proved to be the right thing,
I think your gut instinct has a lot to do with it. And sometimes, you should just go ahead and trust it.
Yep.
Because I know my husband, for example, he was very dubious about it all, and he wouldn't, I suppose, browse online or do as much as what I would have done anyway before this. And he was very much, oh, you don't know if this is, the real deal or what have you. But I just had a feeling that it was going to be the right thing to do.
Totally understand that. So you joined, okay, and
I did.
then basically you started to build a digital business. So how did you find that process of going through the training and ultimately starting that business? How was that journey for you?
The training, I loved the training, and still do, to be honest. I absolutely loved going through it all. And it was only once I started to do the training that I realised that I had been missing learning something new. I had always, without sounding like a geek, I'd always loved learning, and going through the whole education and university and what have you. But I suppose with having children and getting settled down into a sort of a safe job, I'd stopped really taking aboard anything new or learning anything new.
Yeah.
And, it was the first time in a long time that I'd actually started learning and applying new knowledge. And I couldn't get enough of it. I just loved, going through it all. It's all, as you know, it's all very laid out for you. It's all very step by step. And it just made me realise, it reminded me, I had seen something somewhere on some article or something months before that. And it was a phrase I'd never heard before. And it was about people being busy bored. And what that meant was you can be very busy with your day-to-day life, but it's not stimulating you. It's not helping you to grow or helping you to change. So you're busy doing everyday mundane things, but your mind is idle. And I think that was a lot of the reason too why I maybe had suffered from anxiety and other issues, because my mind was just in constant overdrive, even though physically I was busy, with day-to-day things.
Yeah.
So for me, having that opportunity to learn something new was I just loved it, and I still love it. And it's actually kind of sparked more learning in me in other things, not even to do with the business. I've done an awful lot now in, like personal development.
Oh, really?
I've done an online course in energy healing, things that are nothing to do with the business.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sparked just that sort of, I suppose, get up and go in me again,
I mean, that puts you in good stead for the mentoring and the coaching side of this business, doesn't it? When you think about that personal development, so that's really good.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's interesting. I think when you enjoy something, I think that's the catalyst for just wanting more. It's like, when you were, when we was at school, we always had our favourite lessons, and when you think about it, it was kind of a bit of a breeze, those lessons, because you enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you think about the other lessons that you didn't enjoy, so like maths or something for me, I couldn't wait to get out of there. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's just the way that the human mind, I think, works. Do you know what I mean? So I think, anyway.
Yeah, and there's a great aspect to personal development in the training as well. It's not just business orientated stuff. And that surprised me as well, that it wasn't just about very practical, getting a business up and running. There's a lot of growth and personal development in it. And I love all that aspect of things too.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. That is interesting. So what was the kind of, here you are, because you've been running your business now for 12, 14 months, give or take.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah. What's been the biggest kind of challenge you've had to deal with over the past kind of 12, 14 months, and what's been the biggest hurdle thing you've
I would say for me is probably having the faith in myself and putting myself out there, and sort of showing people that, this is what I do now, and it's something, to be proud of. I think because I've always been an employee, you've always sort of done as you're told, I suppose, and gone by, you've always had someone else above you or someone else that you can blame or, point the finger at. Not that you should, but you know what I mean? You've always had some sort of, you haven't had the same responsibility. Whereas it's been sort of stepping up and taking responsibility for my own business and not being afraid to put myself out there. Like even doing something like this, for me, being in front of the camera is quite a big thing for me, because I get quite nervous, and that's been the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
No, it's not been the practical end of things or the learning or anything like that. It's just been, I suppose, having more faith in myself.
Yeah. People respond to people. That's the way I think about these things, and that's kind of part of the reason that I do these, because it helps people see who we are.
That we're real.
That we're real, and we're just normal, nice, everyday type people, just like they are, and we just run a digital business. That's that's exactly what you're trying to show. So that's really interesting. Yeah. So if you were to fast forward 12 months from now, what's the goal? What are you working towards then? What's the dream?
Basically doing more of what I'm doing. I feel quite lucky in that I'm doing this full time now already. So I've kind of reached the goal in that aspect of it. But obviously there are, as you know, within the business, there are milestones that you want to reach. So my goal would be to reach, 2 to 3 of those within the next 12 months.
Okay.
And to sort of just keep growing the business, keep trying to reach more people and show people out there that, you don't have to feel stuck in your current situation, and there are other options out there, and that not everything you see online is a scam, because a lot of people are dubious of that, rightly so.
Yeah.
So really to do that, and we built our house here, and we just moved last year. So we have a lot of ongoing, the walls aren't even painted in this room, so it's there's still a lot of work to do. So it's great even to know now that, I can work my business around that, and I can, now that we have built our own home, we can work on getting it finished, but also I can be at home to enjoy it.
Yeah. That's amazing. What an amazing achievement for your own home.
Yeah, and the kids are still small, they're 11 and 5. They're not that old, so, it's nice even to be there for them. Normally you'd be doing the school runs, obviously that's not happening at the moment. But even to be at home, to be able to do the homeschooling, because my husband, he has to work, he's a class as a key worker, so it's great even that I don't have to worry about having to go to work. I can be at home now with them at the moment.
Yeah. That is amazing. So this all starts, doesn't it, with a workshop? This all starts with a workshop. You watched it, I watched it. Countless thousands of other people around the world have watched this workshop. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think that people should watch the workshop? Why should they invest their time?
I think, why wouldn't you watch it?
I would say exactly that, but
and I suppose it's easy for us to say that. Yeah, it's easy for us to say that because we're looking at it from the other side, so we know what you're going to gain by watching it and by going further. Obviously, from the outside, you don't yet know, the full ins and outs of it. But for a start, it's free. It's not going to cost you anything. So it's not like you're going, all you have to invest is a little bit of time. And certainly at the moment, most of us have quite a lot of that.
Exactly.
You know, it's no more than watching an episode of something on Netflix. You know, it's not going to take any more time than that, but you could learn a hell of a lot more. So yeah, it's really, you know, it's the same step. It's the same step that all of us have followed. So if you're watching it, you're doing what I did and what you did. It's the best way to get an introduction into the business, and it explains it much, much better than what I could do in a short message. It shows you the whole, you know, sort of overview of the business model used. And what I really liked was the fact that, you know, there are the testimonials from real people who are in the business. And to me, that was what pushed me to go further. Because you really get to see those people and what it's done for them. And I've watched now, as I say, I watched 2 before I joined, but I went back and I watched, you know, quite a few more as well. Excuse me. And that was the bit I loved, was just seeing real people. You know?
No, I get it. I think you hit on a good point, because it is, you know, we said before, it's about just everyday type of people that want to start a business. But, you know, if there's a desire inside somebody to do something different, they want to make a change, then a digital business potentially is the answer for them. You know, the internet's still really, really young, and to get in now and start to build and establish yourself in a digital space is priceless. You know, the only way is up, literally, almost like that.
It really is. It really is. And I think maybe now with people being at home and realizing that, you know, obviously this is a temporary situation, and hopefully, you know, things will return to normal, but it has maybe made some people realize as well that, you know, conventional working, you know, can have its downfalls, whereas online is always going to be available, no matter what the outside environment is doing. As long as you've got your Wi-Fi,
absolutely,
internet, you've got it, you know.
And we see that, don't we? Because you know, I personally, I'm getting a lot more interest in my business now than I was 3 months ago. All right. As a broader group of people, we know that there is a lot more people taking that next step and watching a workshop and then moving forward. We see that on a daily basis. You know, people are at home, they are online, and they're surfing, whether that be on Google, on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever it may be, and that's the beauty of attraction marketing, which is basically what we're about, isn't it? You know, so absolutely. Melanie, thank you. What a star! Absolutely.
You're welcome.
It's really good. See, you can breathe now. You can breathe.
I hope everyone can hear me okay with this. Internet's a little bit patchy in this rural area.
You've been absolutely fine, and we can hear you fine. It's come through. It's clear.
Oh, that's super.
You know, so.
Super.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it, Ivan.
Oh, my pleasure. And to everybody else watching, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of Business Talk with Ivan. So until then, I'll see you later. See you. Bye.